Everybody forgets about the Zenphones. No one asks how the Zenfone is doing. Turns out it's doing great. It's living its best life, people. The Zenfone 9 is here. ASUS is still making phones that aren't ridiculous gaming things. But turns out, yeah, the Zenfone line has been around for a while. There's been 9 of them, and this one may be the best one yet. The thing with Zenphones, at least in the past couple generations, I think, they're making a flagship phone, but they're not making it ridiculously oversized so that only people with large hands can use them. The Zenfone 8 was a compact size. It was around 6 inches, and they're doing the same thing with the Zenfone 9. It's a 5.9 inch display, but it's one of the first phones on the market with the latest Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. They tried to simplify their naming scheme and it only got more complicated. For you guys, I'm gonna unbox the other version. I had the black version here, and this is the, what did you call it? Sandstone?
It's actually called Moonlight White.
Moonlight White? Sandstone in the moonlight? All right, what do we got in the box here? We have another box. Compact size, big possibilities. Inside, we have the SIM removal tool, and it's been a bit of a trend lately, an included case, okay. And then user guide inside there, okay. And then we have the phone itself. Come to Papa.
Whoa.
Felt good. What was that noise? You know, in a world full of phones with like 5 and 6 cameras on the back, it gets a little tryptophobic. So I appreciate ASUS just saying like, you know what, we're just gonna have 2 big old cameras on the back. Whoosh. You know, it looks like a minion. The cameras are a big thing that ASUS has upgraded over the Zenfone 8, and we'll talk about that. But first, let's talk about the actual exterior of the phone. You know what? That's why I thought it was sandstone, because the back has this sort of like texture on it. Feels like sandstone. We got this metal rail all around the side, which is like vaguely iPhone-like, but also not, because it's like got kind of a rounded edge on it, so that's cool. On the top, look at that. There's a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. I'll say right now, this phone starts at $699, and it's got the latest chip. So it's not one of those like low-end phones like the Pixel A series where they were like, we'll put a headphone jack on there for the people who can't afford Bluetooth headphones. Every phone should still have a headphone jack on it. I'm sorry, there's room for it, and even in a 5.9 inch phone, screw you, Apple. On this side, we got the volume rocker and the power button, which doubles as a fingerprint sensor, which also doubles as a multi-function button with swipe functionality. We're gonna talk about that, that's exciting. On the bottom, we got the speaker, and this phone also, they have front-facing speakers where the other speaker is here and the earpiece and the ones on the bottom, so sort of front-facing. USB-C port, SIM card slot, no SD card support on this one, and the other side is blanc. What else we got in the box? Oh, a little fancy compartment with a charging cable, USB-C to C, and a power adapter. This is 30 watts. I did a little bit of testing with it. I got from 35% to 100% in an hour. I got 30% in just 20 minutes. So that's not bad. Actually, I've seen better. The one other big thing that I wanted to say about the exterior right off the bat is that this is my Pixel 3, okay? It's that perfect size where I can reach all the way across with my phone. When I use these bigger phones, I'm like, what's the point? Like, am I supposed to be double-handing? You guys have big phones. Why do you have big phones? What's the point? Okay, anyways, the point is that I like smaller phones because you can do the one-handed thing, and ASUS is really one of the only manufacturers out there that is still deciding to make a compact phone with decent specs. I mean, you can find like quote unquote compact phones out there, but most of them are going to be like really low end. I've seen some people say that this might even be the best compact phone, even considering the iPhone minis. And I don't wanna say that, but I will tell you that people are saying that. I'm protected. I won't tell you what to do, but I will tell you to check out our sponsor, Manscaped. Their Performance Package 4.0 kit is designed to contain everything you need to make grooming below the waist easy. It includes the updated Lawnmower 4.0 with wireless charging, Weed Whacker nose trimmer for the tricky areas, plus some other goodies like the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver sprays for deodorizing and toning. Get 20% off plus free international shipping using the link in the description below. As you can see here, the bezels aren't like what you'd expect from a flagship phone. There's a little bit more of a chin and a, what do you call that? Forehead up at the top. So you can see on my Pixel 3, it still has those. So thankfully, I'm already used to it. But this is a 5.9 inch screen, 1080 by 2400, Super AMOLED with apparently 1100 nits peak brightness, which, that looks pretty bright. It's got HDR10 plus. So that's the peaks that you're gonna get when you're watching something with high dynamic range. The other thing is it's a 120 hertz screen, so we're up to flagship standards with that. It's crazy, especially seeing 120 hertz on such a small display like this, going from the Pixel 3, which is 60 hertz, I guess, to 120 hertz on this thing. It's just like a crazy difference. And because it has the latest Snapdragon phone, I mean, I've been using this for a day or two, I have not experienced any kind of slowdown. You click on something, it goes. This baby flies. Also contributing to that performance is the 8 gigabytes of RAM that comes with default. The $699 price point is gonna get you 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage, but there's 256 gigs storage and up to 16 gigs of RAM as well if you really want to spec this thing out. I don't know how expensive that one is. It's probably over $1,000. While we're talking about the display, we were talking about the display a second ago. Let's do a YouTube thing. I mean, that's looking pretty nice. The greens are popping, looks pretty sharp. There they are. Love those guys, those dang lobsters. Okay. I mean, it's a phone. Oh, I'm already disappointed. As usual, iPhones are kind of like the gold standard for phone speakers right now. Yeah, this definitely sounds like a little bit tinnier, but volume's pretty good. Oh yeah, this is a 13 Pro. I mean, what does that start at? Like 1,200 bucks or something? So this is 1,000 sustained brightness on the iPhone 13 Pro, and this has 800 sustained brightness, but peak brightness is very similar. This is 1,100, this is 1,200. Yeah, they're both on max brightness now. They look pretty similar. Nice job, ASUS. All right, let's talk about the cameras because there are these big chonkers on the back of the device. So I don't know which is which, but one of these is a 50 megapixel main camera and the other one is a 12 megapixel ultra wide. The main camera uses the Sony IMX766 sensor. The ultra wide, whatever one is the ultra wide, uses the IMX363, which is the same sensor used in the 6A 12 megapixel camera and all of the previous pixels. So maybe Zenfone was going for something where they were like, okay, we're gonna be drawing in some Pixel fans with this. Let's bring back that old camera sensor that they all know about for sure. So these rear cameras can do 8K video recording at 24 FPS, 4K at 30 or 60, and up to 120 FPS slow-mo, so that's nice to see. And on the front camera, it's a 12 megapixel Sony IMX663 sensor. Okay, so ASUS talked about how their camera UI is easy to use one-handed. I guess in this scenario translates to them just using something that looks like iOS's camera module. Are you guys ready? Look at these guys. Okay, so that's using the regular 50 megapixel sensor on the back. Hey, okay. It's a little bit gray. It's a little bit, I think I'd like a little bit more pop in there. So the main camera is already pretty wide there. And when you go to the ultra wide, I mean, I'm very happy with how wide that situation is. Good gravy. You can get the whole situation in there. One of the really cool additions that made me a bit more excited for the Zenfone 9 was that they have this what they're calling, an advanced gimbal system. Based on some demo videos that I've seen, does a really good job of emulating, kind of like one of those handheld gimbals. And to help you have even steadier photos, they have this guide system where you have to, if you keep that little ball in the circle, then it's saying that your videos are gonna be a little smoother. I wanna take a video now. What do you think about that? I'm gonna go running. Excessive shaking. On screen it said, excessive shaking, keep the phone stable. No! That's pretty smooth. Okay, so even at the point where it told me excessive shaking, keep the phone stable, it still looked really stable. And for the selfie camera, let's take a demo shot for that. Yeah, the colors, I mean, just looking at the viewfinder here, the colors are like a little muted for me. I would like a little bit more pop, not too much. But like, you know, on top of all the things that are so great about this phone, if the camera is just okay, that's fine with me. Now, the phone is not perfect. I'll say that right now because there's no wireless charging. That's a big, annoying thing for me. I wireless charge my Pixel 3 all the time. It does have a 43,000 milliamp hour battery. 4,300, 43,000, you could ride it into space. I haven't charged it since I did that charging test yesterday, and it's still only at 52%, and I've been using it, you know, kind of on and off as much as I would use a normal phone. I'm not sure if I said it already, but the ZenUI that they include with the Zenphones is a lot leaner, it seems to me, than the custom Android skin that they put on the ROG gaming phones. It basically seems like stock Android. I mean, when you go into the settings, there's not a ton of like extra crazy stuff. But what I did notice is that as you kind of dive into the settings, there's just a few little quality of life tweaks that I thought were good. Like in the battery section, for example, you have a battery saving mode, but they also give you a high performance mode and a way to like customize all of that. ASUS has also gone out of their way to add the type of shortcuts that I love to see in a phone. For one, I mentioned it earlier, the power button / fingerprint sensor also doubles as a scroll, you can add scroll functionality to it. I disabled the swipe up and down thing where you can bring the notification bar down by swiping on the side, because I didn't really like that. But you know, if you want that there, it's there. And I believe you can customize it for other things. Let's go see. You can have check notifications, so you can swipe to open your notifications slide. You can refresh the web page. So like instead of scrolling down from the top, home end of web pages. I didn't even know about this. That actually seems like it would be really useful. Maybe I should enable that. And look at that. It's kind of finicky. I don't know if I'll have that enabled all the time. But the other cool thing about this is that you can customize the double tap action on the power button. There's also gestures you can do with a back double tap. So right now, I think iPhone has this as well, but this is not a standard thing on Android phones at all. And if I've set it to double tap to open the flashlight. It did it. Now, this is probably not useful in a small phone, but they also have an option where I think if you swipe down past the little navigation pill at the bottom, it'll enter one-handed mode, and you can do stuff with that and then put it back up. What is this now? Mobile Manager. I didn't even know this was a thing, but I guess this is an ASUS, one of the things ASUS has added, that you can optimize your RAM and storage and stuff like that, so that's cool. Bell really wants me to talk about gaming performance on the phone because it's got the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, which is the new chip everybody's talking about. Everyone who wants to play Genshin Impact. Our fancy new labs team did some testing on one of the Zenphones that we have here, and let me tell you about it. The labs team notes that the Zenfone 9 is able to achieve 60 FPS in some games that they tested, like Real Racing 3 and Shadow Fight 3, but in Genshin Impact, it couldn't quite get there. It could only manage 40 FPS. Although, apparently ASUS did some magic development stuff and were able to make the 120 Hertz display work well with lower frame rates in games so that you don't experience micro stuttering, so that's good. They also noted that during gaming, the overall temperature stayed low. We're seeing a peak temperature of 51 degrees, but it hovered most of the time more around 40 degrees. And in my experience, that was true as well. I think while I was charging it from 35% to 100%, I did notice the back of the phone getting a little warm, but it wasn't anything that seemed problematic, and it cooled down relatively quickly, so there's that. Okay, Bell just brought up something interesting that I didn't know about. So I was gonna say one of the great things about the phone, another great thing, is that it's IP68. Water and dust resistance. However, ASUS says on their website that it's IP68/65 because over time the IP68 protection may degrade and then get down to 65, drop 3 points. Yeah, on one hand I'm like, okay, good on you ASUS for saying that, but on another hand I'm like, but maybe it should just stay IP68. And the last kind of interesting tidbit that I wanted to say about the Zenfone 9 is that they apparently have these modular accessories. There's a case that can go on the back and then have like a magnetic attachment for either like a little wallet thing for your cards or for a kickstand, which I thought was cool, but I'm probably not gonna buy because it's probably, you know, more expensive than, you know, a comparative cheap thing I could get on the internet. But they also have this interesting like backpack mount thing with like a retractable connector. So that's cool. Probably no one will get that. But hey, it gave me the vibes of like LG back when they were making, they were like getting into the modular thing, and they released that phone. I forget what the phone was called. You could take out the bottom of the phone and you could slot in either a new battery, or there was like a camera module, and then there was also an audio module for like higher quality audio playback. That was a time where we had like fun innovations in phones. And while the Zenfone 9 doesn't quite achieve that level of quirkiness, it's really nice to see that at least one manufacturer is still taking the idea of, you know, flagship quality, somewhat affordable, compact phones seriously, because that's exactly what I want. ASUS knew that this is what I needed, and I love them. And I love you for watching this video. Subscribe to ShortCircuit, or don't, and help me burn it to the ground. There are other videos you could watch too, like my Pixel 6a review. Okay, see you later.